the Himalayan mountains and the gardens behind the property, which had a lot of fruit and a lot of monkeys that liked to eat the fruit. The cement structure is the edge of a trough that often had water in it, and Master said Mr. and Mrs. Lion would come down for a drink. Fortunately, there was no water in it then, and they didn't come down, or I would have run for cover. The path on the side there in the garden. Now we are at Manav Kendra, and the rest of this film will be Manav Kendra. Bob and Kira Radin, Master, and Master's driver, Mohan, and this is the car in which they always rode. Our driver was Ram Sarup, and you will see him later on. These people also have not seen Master for several weeks, and they have been waiting for him. He is discussing with them their spiritual and mundane affairs. The doggy hasn't seen him for a while either. That structure behind them is the little house. I believe that was the temporary living quarters for Master up there that time. The water tower. There were very few Westerners there then, and just before I left, many began to come over once more. It was because Master wasn't strong enough to have a lot of visitors, but as soon as he was, he opened the gates, and they came in large numbers. This is in front of a sort of reception hall. The sun is just beginning to set, twilight. Such a beautiful time of day. The young man in the green shirt is a visiting government official, and Master is taking him on a tour of the grounds. We were told to come in our best attire, which we did, scrubbed up and fresh and clean, and went to the reception room where Master introduced each one of us to him. And then, before he left, he gave the man some books. That's Eileen Wigg on the left there, who lived at the ashram with Princess Narendra, whom we called Cuckoo. Here we are at the water tower again. And this is the beautiful pool. Master had intended to stock it, he said, with tropical fish. I don't know if they ever did. Kira and Bob Routine, David, myself, photographing all of them. Kendra was under construction at this time. Here's a lady doing her work. The young man in the striped shirt is from Canada. Some of the Western men would help with the construction. Some of the women too. When I first went to India, which was the year before, I received the blessing of seeing how far I was from God, which many of us did see. That is, all of my negative acts, some of which I seem to have still no control or no knowledge, and kept repeating. And I wept, not out of self-pity or masochism or anything negative, but just for the separation from God, and it made me very heavy-hearted. So every time I would pass by Master, he would say, "Go jolly, go jolly." And one day I went to him and I said, "How can I go jolly when you have shown me how far I am from God?" And he leaned over and he pointed to his heart and said, "If a man has a wound here, and he puts on a nice suit of clothes, no one will know." And then he said, "Open one door at a time." I was trying to take care of everything at once, and I got overwhelmed by the enormity of the task before me. Master sees the camera. He's going to give us a little blessing here. There it is. We asked him if it disturbed him to have us photographing him when he wasn't feeling up to snuff, so to speak, and he said, no, they will be much appreciated. This is again back at Dehradun, and this is the home for the blind. I'm sorry, I forgot that we do go back to Dehradun, and I'm standing on the veranda of a house that Kuku and Eileen had built. It's a little to the side of Master's property. Now we're back at Kendra. Here is Ram Sarup's Master's driver. He knew it was a moving picture, so he felt he should be moving. They're building one of the buildings in the back there. When Ram Sarup used to drive us around, he would sing very energetically beautiful hymns, spiritual hymns. here we are watching the people building one of the homes. I think this is the home for the elderly, but I'm not sure. In one of his lectures, Master said how he too had to weed out his faults one at a time, and that when they were gone, he experienced a feeling of great blessedness. That's on the audio cassette, A Question of Love. It struck me so when I first heard it. Once he said, Barbara, barber. And what does the barber do? He shaves the head. Shave your head of all thoughts but those of God. At one time I brought to him a book about a young man who was practicing the presence of God, the book said, and he lived in a monastery, and Master took the book and he said, you don't have to go into a monastery. You don't have to go away to a monastery or in the woods. He pointed between his eyes and he said, go into your own monastery. He leaned over to me and he said, I'm talking to you. Another time about the same book, he said, you have experience of light and sound, right? And I said, yes. And he said, you know more than the man in the book. And then he said, of course, that we know more than the prophets. This is a very profound statement if you consider it deeply. Mother and daughter coming for settlement of mundane affairs and to bring their diaries. And that is the end of this video. Now, if you will hang in just a little bit longer, you will see on the screen where you can write for more information about Kirpal Singh, his books, audio cassettes, and video cassettes. The address will appear. Thank you for watching, and we hope the video has pleased you.
Let's सदा सुखदाई, हर को नाम सदा सुखदाई। जाको सिमर अजामल उतरियो, जाको सिमर अजामल उतरियो, सन काहूँ कत पाए, हर को नाम सदा सुखदाई। कृपा निध गायो, ताको भयो सहाय। जय नर जस कृपा निध गायो, ताको भयो सहाय। कहो नानक मैं तेहि भरोसे, कही आन सरताए, हर को नाम। मानस की जात सब है एक है पहचान को, मानस की जात सब है एक है पहचान को, मानस की जात सब है एक है पहचान को। भयो मुनिया सन्यासी को जोग भयो, कोई ब्रह्मचारी को जति अनुमान वो, कोई ब्रह्मचारी को जति अनुमान वो। हिंदू तुर्क को राप की इमाम साथी, मानस की जात सब है एक है पहचान वो, मानस की जात सब है एक है पहचान वो, मानस की जात सब है एक है पहचान वो। करता करीम कोई राजक रहीम होई, दूसरो न भेद कोई भूल भरम मान गो, दूसरो न भेद कोई भूल भरम मान गो। एक ही किसेव सबही को गुरुदेव, एक एक ही स्वरूप सब है एक जोत जान वो, मानस की जात सब है एक।
Dear brothers and sisters, masters when they come here to dwell in us love of God. When they leave this chain of the earth, these formations come into being, the main purpose of which is that many people may derive benefit from the formations in which practical people would guide them to love God. The purpose of joining any religion is what? We should love God. He is the creator of all creation, universe. He dwells in every heart. But there, somewhere He is manifest too. So where he is manifest, that is called Word made flesh. So long as they are amongst us, they are all showing the love of God, and by relation to, we have something to start with. And they give us also how to contact with God and have love for Him. You will find there are so many, we follow so many religions. All of them, they love God, they worship God. But God is the same one. It is not that Hindus have got another God, or Christians some other God, or Mohammedan some other God. God is one and the same. And the same we do love. And this we are told by all masters who came in the past.
Gentlemen and ladies, I have the great pleasure to meet you. Since the beginning of creation, when the first flicker of self-awakening dawned on man, his attention has been more and more concerned with the problem of his own worldly existence, an investigation into the cause and source of all creation. For ages, he has probed and queried in vain, but now at last, his increasing thirst for knowledge is turning him to study the results gained by others in the field. Ancient and modern sages echo, what is that? The knowledge of which makes everything else known. And in the same breath reply, knowledge of the higher self, the true man. So the supreme knowledge is that which deals both in theory and practice with man's true nature and his relation to God. It is in fact in natural science without hypothesis, no subject to change or time prejudice. In ancient India it was named Paravidya, science of realized truth or science of the beyond. And different denominations sprang up to interpret this knowledge. The term Aparavidya, standing for preparation for achieving the knowledge of Paravidya, was then introduced. This preparation consists of following an ethical life and the practice of concentration in so many ways, both indispensable for spiritual development. Man is constantly changing or introducing new names and terminologies to describe this science. The masters were called saints, and the nature of knowledge, mat, giving us the term Sant mat, which is at present largely used to describe the science. Other terms, Shabda Yoga, Sur Shabda Yoga, Sahi Yoga, etc., are synonyms.